In this VideoNet interview at IBC 2013, I'm speaking with Jesper Andersen, who's the SVP and General Manager for Service Provider, Video and Software Solutions at Cisco. Hello, Jesper.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Okay, well, multi-screen, I mean, it's still the big story really for IBC, I think, and we're very much into the deployment phase now. So what is changing as the first operators who deployed want to scale, but also the smaller operators want to come into the market? What's changing to make it easier for people?
Yeah, I think we have to think of this in phases, right? The first phase, if I can describe it that way, were sort of the large and tier 2 operators rushing out. Everyone had to have an iPad client. They very much targeted VOD to have some kind of capability. They didn't necessarily think a lot about how to connect brands and having a consistent user experience between your primary screen and your secondary screen. It sort of became an alternate viewing device. I think what we're seeing with operators in phase 2, we see things like, well, maybe we should have architected it a little bit different. Maybe we should have tied it to our primary distribution that we had on the TV side, connected the back-end system so that we had more common intelligence around our subscribers and viewing patterns. So a lot of them are coming to us, like the tier 1s and tier 2s, and sort of saying, Cisco, what can you do to help us? And that's where our Videoscape Unity platform comes in, that sort of has that consistency in branding and user experience. For the smaller operators, obviously they kind of have an appetite and a need for the same things. It's becoming table stake to have some kind of functionality, but they don't necessarily have the budget, obviously, to do the same kind of thing. So they're trying to leverage more productized types of solutions. We see a lot of operators that are going for the part of our portfolio where we can very quickly implement and make it pretty cost effective, maybe just change the branding of a productized solution, and that's good enough for them. And we see a number of operators that frankly want us to manage those deployments for them, even in a managed services via CastUp, which is one of our solutions, or ultimately in a truly deployed as a service type of solution, so a cloud solution.
Okay, I mean, it sounds from what you were saying that we're actually getting a second generation multi-screen arriving now, so we're actually at a phase where some people are coming back to start again, and you're doing that for people.
Yes, many of them are coming back saying, hey, I kind of hired a local shop to help me build that first client experience on my iPad, let's say. Now I'm also needing to support Android on multiple devices. There are many distributions of Android. I'm finding I can't really scale. I also got somewhat locked into a proprietary coded custom platform. I don't really like this. Now this little shop that may have done a good job, I'm kind of somewhat hostage to working with their people. I really want more of a productized approach to that, where I can still have a unique solution with my unique branding and differentiation, but where I'm not the only one that's using that solution.
Okay, and when they come back to you from their experience in the field, what do they want in their user experience second time around? And what are they focusing on when they talk to you?
They want consistency, they want uniqueness, both on the primary big TV screen and on the smaller screen. I think things like the iPhone has done a lot to change user expectations about the user experiences they're seeing. We have a lot of interest in our Snowflake user experience, which is really industry-leading experience on the primary screen and increasingly on the multi-screens as well. People are expecting that kind of newness behavior. I don't want the old grid anymore where I'm just sort of up and down and left and right. I need more of a sort of scroll through titles, more art inside my user experience. So a lot of interest and investment in that area.
Okay, and is the companion experience a crucial part of phase 2? I mean, you mentioned earlier that some of them is more consumption on different screens, but now we're moving to this companion world, aren't we?
Yeah, I would say in phase 2, it's about consistency, like I said, and it's often about using that companion device as a remote control. I don't really need an external remote control. I might as well just use my iPhone, my iPad. But I think, interestingly, around companion devices, what's really interesting is let's call it phase 3, where now that I'm watching the big screen and I have that device in my hand, what sort of things might I do on that one in context to watching what I'm watching on the screen? A lot of investment in that, for example, around sports, where I can see player stats or maybe even different camera angles on my companion device of the same live show that's even going on, becoming popular around sports like Major League Baseball in the States or Formula One overall, some pretty advanced companion applications out there. And then I think we're all sort of working on how could we use it from a social TV perspective, how could we use it to advance advertising a little bit more as well.
Yeah, well, it's funny you mention advertising because, I mean, monetization is obviously a very big theme now. And, I mean, we've seen the early deployments, the people love them,
Yep.
but it is quite difficult getting money out of customers, more money. So, I mean, how can we monetize multi-screen and also the companion experience, if at all?
I think that is a great question, right? I think, as I said, I think the secondary screen or multi-screen experience is sort of table stake. And you're right, you can't really charge your customer. You can't generate more ARPU by having a iPad client. What you can do is potentially get more subscription revenue from VOD and not let Netflix have everything or other over-the-tops by sort of having that experience. If people aren't in their primary room, they can still watch TV on that tablet. But it's clear that the next bump in monetization have to come from some kind of advanced advertising. We're doing a lot of work with a number of operators around how to do that. More targeted, better knowledge about the individual subscriber so you can target the ads and maybe run some of those ads in parallel with the primary viewing experience. You can imagine scenarios like, I'm watching a certain movie and I have a coupon app, and as I'm watching that movie contextually, coupons pop up that are relevant. Advertising, you can imagine I'm watching some kind of traveler show and the advertising is, hey, from Expedia or someone like that who could do that. So I think there's so much opportunity in that. What we are focused on at Cisco is building a flexible end-to-end open architecture where we can hook different new services into a sort of open control plane with greater ease. One of the things that's very, very clear in this world is we need much more speed and agility in this industry in providing new sets of services, more like Web 2.0 companies are doing. We don't necessarily always know what's going to stick and sit with the subscribers, so we need that flexibility to launch new services, try things and see if they work. And I think the best operators understand that. I think that's true for social TV. It's not as simple as just integrating with Twitter or Facebook. You don't really know exactly what's going to work at this point in time. So flexibility and agility are two of the most important aspects of Videoscape Unity that we use in our design.
And presumably, as the multi-screen platform operator, the service provider can have a crucial role in this advertising ecosystem. I mean, it won't just be a relationship between the content owner and the advertiser in future. So, I mean, what is their role? How significant can it be?
Well, I think if you buy into the fact that the content, the operator is really the one, it varies a little bit by market, but that the operator is one that really sort of is the distributor of the real content. So say that sports show or whatever else it is. They obviously have a huge amount of knowledge about the subscriber. What's the subscriber watching? What's the subscriber's viewing pattern? What's the demography of that one? And the content owner or the content provider doesn't necessarily have all of that information. So, the operator should have an advantage in getting content and targeting that better. We are seeing operators we are working with where we have implemented a system that now can target unique ad insertion per set-top box. So I can't name the operator, but an operator is already running that today. We know what you are viewing and watching on your set-top box, and therefore we can seamlessly insert an ad. Even if there's a national feed, we can insert an ad in a certain segment that is uniquely targeted to that set-top box. And you can imagine the more you do that, the higher value and better targeting you can get in that advertising as part of that content. And that ought to be able to increase the operator's share of that advertising revenue.
Okay, and just finally, I mean, we've covered a lot, but is there any single challenge now that you're working on with Videoscape Unity that is sort of more important than others, if at all?
Yeah, I would say just generally I would come back to having an open architecture where you can where the operator can launch new services with far greater agility. This industry has been plagued by deployment periods that were year, 18-month type of long. The future competitors of many of our customers, the operators, are the Web 2.0 types of companies. And as an industry, we need to do a better job of giving our operator customers far more agility, far more speed. That comes with deployment in the cloud, but it comes with an open architecture where they don't have to rely on all of that innovation for those services to come from Cisco. That can come from an ecosystem of partners that have developed cool niche solutions that can be deployed really, really fast. That's our focus in Videoscape Unity, to build the best platform that's the most extensible platform. We have an open API framework that allows us to do that. And I think that's what an operator needs. They, more than anything else, need flexibility to be able to react fast and launch new services with greater speed.
Okay, well, we've come a long way, and there's still a long way to go, I guess. But thank you very much for coming in and telling us about it, Jesper.
Appreciate the time and the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thanks.